Mr. Bromwich, I was somewhat pleased to see that you approved Shell's first new deepwater exploration plan. I understand that there are several environmental groups that are considering filing challenges to that. Our chairman has introduced some legislation that helps to streamline the judicial process. You're a very bright lawyer. I will recognize that. Do you support that legislation?
Is this one of the bills that the chairman introduced yesterday? I haven't had enough time to really study it to give you an informed opinion.
Okay, well, I'd like you to supplement an answer to that question once you have an opportunity to review. If you wouldn't mind, just if you could take a look at that map. That is a map of Cuba. That is Cuba's lease blocks. I don't guess that you have any jurisdiction over how they drill in Cuba.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, one of those lease blocks is has been leased to Petrobras, did you recommend to the president that maybe we should require Brazil to meet the same standards you are inflicting on our oil and gas industry as they drill in Brazil?
There is a lot of discussion and activity within the department about trying to internationalize standards.
Well, no. I mean, the money's already lent. I mean, when they lent Brazil some money to drill off our coast, does Brazil meet your criteria? Could under your requirements, could people drill in Brazil? Would they meet your requirements in Brazil? Are they doing EISs and duplicative environmental studies?
I don't know very much about Brazil's regulatory system, so I can't answer that.
That's a great answer, because me neither, but I don't know why we're spending all that money in increasing their offshore capacity, and we're strangling our industry here. You know, we've been talking a lot about irresponsibility on behalf of the industry, and I'd like to get back to that, but you've indicated that a government shutdown would impair your ability to issue permits. Would you say that a government shutdown is an irresponsible act?
I think that's a rhetorical question, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, would you say that shutting the government would be...
I think shutting down the government and sending the bulk of our employees home is an irresponsible act.
Okay. Well, then, would you agree that it was irresponsible for the Democrats not to pass a budget last year?
I'm not going to answer that.
Well, now, wait a minute. I mean, come on now. I mean, you can't just pick
I'm here to supply information.
I'm just curious. I mean, if you say that...
Congressman, with all due respect, I'm here to supply information about things that are within my jurisdiction, not to opine on political questions.
If I may, Mr. Landry,
yes,
the gentleman is here on his listen, I'm very interested in that answer,
but
too.
Let's do it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
it does. And, my next
he
question...
has declined to answer it, and I think we need to respect that.
Well, let me ask you a question. If we were to shut the government down, how much money would you need to continue your permitting process?
Well, those are the answer is I don't know, and the second answer is I'm not able to pick and choose which operations I can select. The shutdowns that took place, I don't know if you were here at the time. I was in 1995 and 1996.
I was a taxpayer at that time.
Well, so I've been a taxpayer all along. So in
in the government, you were in the government.
I was in the government
right.
in 1995.
Getting a government check. I was getting a private check.
Okay.
Okay.
I've had some private checks too.
Okay.
So in 1995 and 1996, there were most of the government was shut down. There was a very skeletal crew in most agencies. That was true at the Justice Department where I served.
How much money do you need if you have all that experience? You should then be able to tell me relatively how much money you would need to continue the permitting process under a government shutdown.
I don't know.
I mean, you just told me about the vast experience that you have and that you were here when they shut the government down.
I was not in the Interior Department. I wasn't running this agency.
Well, but you evidently have some experience. Could you give me a roundabout part? Would it be 10 million, 15 million, 20 million?
I don't know.
Okay. By your own admission earlier, you agreed that there is adequate spill response capabilities in the Gulf of Mexico. That's what you...
No. What I said was, in the context of individual permitting applications, we are satisfied that with respect to each of those applications that we approve, that each of them has demonstrated adequate access to containment resources.
Does the government have access to adequate spill response capabilities in the Gulf of Mexico today? The government, do you have the ability to go, and if you needed and you had the budgetary ability, could you go and access adequate spill response capabilities in the Gulf of Mexico today?
It's not a government responsibility
I'm
under
just
our current
asking you
laws.
if you did have it, could you?
We could perhaps commandeer the resources of the various private groups, but that's not the way the system works.
I'm going to respect my time. If I had some more, we could finish up. But